Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I go by London or London Cooks, and in today's tutorial we are making a delicious and flavorful one-pot shrimp and yellow rice. Now if you like what you're seeing on the screen, then stay tuned. To make this super easy one-pot shrimp and yellow rice, today we're going to be using some Argentinian red shrimp. This is 1 pound, you guys. I did already wash this using lemon juice and cool water. And these are not cooked, by the way. They're called Argentinian red shrimp, and they have a similar taste to lobster. These are the shells, and we're going to use this to make a really quick and easy shrimp stock, and this is going to add lots of flavor to our rice. This is 2 cups of unwashed Basmati rice, and I will get this washed before adding it to the pot. 1 tablespoon of fresh blend. I do have a tutorial for this, and I will list the link to this below. If you have green seasoning, please feel free to use that. I do also have a half of a red sweet pepper and 4 cloves of garlic, which I did mince. This is 1.5 teaspoons of cornstarch. This is optional, but this is going to be used to season the shrimp, just to add a little bit of nice crunchy texture to the shrimp. This is about 1 teaspoon of thyme. Green onions. Butter. This is salted butter, but if you have unsalted butter, please feel free to use that. Oil. Fish seasoning. Paprika. Black pepper. Garlic powder. All-purpose seasoning. Shrimp bouillon. And I found this at my local supermarket. Cayenne pepper. And some turmeric to add some color to the rice. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is to season your shrimp. So I'm going to add about a half amount of this thyme, and you guys, I simply just remove the leaves from the thyme. I'm gonna go in with the entire amount of cornstarch, and again, the reason for using the cornstarch is just so that the shrimps get a nice crunchy texture once we start cooking them. I'm gonna go in with a half teaspoon of paprika, half teaspoon of fish seasoning, and you don't want to heavily season these because this is shrimp, it's seafood, and if you over season them, it can become a little bit too salty. A half teaspoon of cayenne pepper, half teaspoon of the all-purpose seasoning, and a half teaspoon of garlic powder. If you do have onion powder or dried onion flakes, you can definitely go ahead and add that to the shrimp to season. I don't have any on hand, so I'll be doing without it. So now I'm just going to mix this up, ensure that the seasoning is mixed in here properly, and then I'm going to set this shrimp aside, and then we're going to get started on our shrimp stock. Alright, so our shrimp has been combined evenly with the seasonings, and now I'm just gonna set this aside. Now it's time to make our shrimp stock. So I do have a saucepan over a high heat, and I'm going to add just a little bit of oil in here, just enough to coat the pot. Now I'm going to add the shells that I removed from the shrimp, and I gave these a quick rinse at the same time that I rinsed the shrimp using lemon juice and cool water. So what I'm going to do while these are cooking, and we're only going to cook this for about 5 minutes or so, I'm going to be sure to continue to press down on the shells while this is cooking. And what that's going to do is to help to release some extra flavor from these shells. And the point of using the shrimp stock in this rice, you guys, is that it's going to add so much flavor to the rice, that nice extra shrimpy flavor. So if you're someone who does not like shrimp tails for absolutely no reason, then this is definitely a good way to incorporate that extra shrimpy, nice flavor into your dishes. So I'm going to continue to push down on the shells once again, just to get any extra flavors from out of here. And I'm just going to allow these to cook for about 2 minutes or so, or saute in the oil. Next, I'm going to add a tablespoon of the fresh blend. You guys, this is completely optional. I'm just all about the flavors. So I'm adding a half a tablespoon of the fresh blend. I'm going to give that a quick stir, and then I'm going to go in with 2 cups of water. So now I'm going to bring this to a boil, and I will allow it to boil for about 5 minutes or so, and then I will remove it from the heat and set it aside, and then we'll get started on our rice. Alright, so this has been boiling for 5 minutes, you guys. I brought it to a boil and allowed it to boil for 5 minutes. I just turned the heat off, and now I'm going to remove this and set it aside. And all I'm going to do is to strain this, and all that we're going to use is just the liquid from here. And you see that? That is liquid gold right there. Now that everything is strained, I'm going to dump this and set this liquid gold aside that has so much shrimpy flavor in here. At this point in time, you can add a dash of salt to this, or enough salt to taste. It's definitely up to you. I'm not going to add any, simply because this is going into the rice. But if you like, you can make a big batch of this and store it in your freezer whenever you're ready to use it. So because shrimp cooks quickly and easily, and of course we don't want to overcook the shrimp, we are going to get started by half cooking our shrimp. I am using a big skillet. My fire is on a medium high. I have added enough oil to coat the pot. And now I'm gonna go in with about 2 tablespoons of butter. Next, I'm going to add the shrimp, and as I did mention, I'm only going to half cook the shrimp. So about 1 minute per side, and you definitely want to move quickly. Just so that you're not overcooking these for sure. So get them flattened out in the pot, just so that they can all get a nice color and a nice texture, since we do have cornstarch on the shrimp. And once again, the cornstarch is simply going to help to give the shrimp just a nice little crispy texture to it. Alright, so I'm going to flip these 1 minute per side. Because once again, we're only half cooking them because we're going to add this at the end of the rice. once it's almost done cooking. As soon as I'm done flipping these, I'm going to remove them from the pot. Alrighty, so now I'm going to remove the shrimp, and then we're going to get started on the rice. So inside the same skillet that we used to make the shrimp, I only stored just a little bit of the butter that I had in the pot, maybe about a tablespoon or so with the shrimp, but I left everything in there. And now I'm going to go in with the remainder of the fresh blend. This is about a half a tablespoon. Again, if you have green seasoning, please feel free to use it. I'm also going to go in with the peppers, the red pepper that is, and the garlic. So now I'm just going to give this a stir until they become aromatic, or just to allow them to release the flavors. I wish you guys could smell this. Oh my God, it smells so delicious. Next, I'm going to go in with my washed Basmati rice. And you can use any rice of your choice for this, you guys. I just wanted to use long grain rice for this. It doesn't matter, whichever rice of your preference. But you definitely want to ensure that you wash your rice to remove some of that starch for sure. Now I'm just going to give this a stir. And then I'm going to go in with the shrimp stock. I'm also doing this over a medium-high heat. Now after adding the shrimp stock, this is where the color comes in. I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon of turmeric, or just enough, you know, until the color is at a color that I like. Alright, that color looks fine to me. So add as much turmeric that you'd like, or however you'd like to see the color of your rice, I should say. So I'm just going to lower my heat down to low while I'm doing this, just for the purpose of this video, because now I'm going to season my rice. So the water rule when cooking rice is 2 cups of water to 1 cup of rice. So we did use 2 cups of basmati rice along with 2 cups of shrimp stock, which is a liquid. So I'm gonna go in with about 1.5 cups more of water. I don't like my rice too sticky, so I'm only using 3.5 cups total, but if you like mushy rice, then definitely make this to however you like it. Next, to add a little bit more shrimpy flavor in here, I'm going to go in with 1 teaspoon of the shrimp bouillon. Now I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of all-purpose seasoning. And you guys, don't kill your rice with seasoning, because you don't want your rice to be too salty. 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Nothing too fancy. And lastly, 1/2 teaspoon of fish seasoning. Since my pot already had butter from the start, I won't add any more butter to here, so now I'm just gonna give this a stir. And at this point in time, you definitely want to taste your pot and adjust your seasonings as necessary. So if you think your pot needs salt at this point in time, add as much as you like. If it needs more seasoning, go ahead and add more seasonings to your liking. So from here, all the rice rules apply. I'm going to allow this to continue to cook, and I now have my heat at a medium-low until most of this liquid has started to evaporate out. Then I'm going to cover the pot tightly and allow the rice to cook until it becomes nice and fluffy, and then I will add the shrimp last. So now that most of the liquid has evaporated out of here, I'm now going to cover this. All right, you guys, my rice has been cooking for 25 minutes so far. And do you see how nice and fluffy this is starting to look? So at this point in time, I'm gonna go ahead and put the shrimp on top. And then my rice should be done in about 3 minutes or so, since we did already half cook the shrimp. Here's our shrimp. And as I did mention, I did put a little bit of the butter in here. And this is the butter that was used to cook the shrimp. So I'm just gonna lay those out nicely on top. Drizzle the rest of that butter in here and then cover it for about another 3 to 5 minutes or so. And then our rice should be done. Alright, so now I'm just going to cover this, and this rice will be done in about 3 or 5 minutes or so. Our 1-pot shrimp and yellow rice is now done, and all that I'm going to do is just to garnish it with some green onions, aka scallions. And that's it, you guys. It's that easy, simple, really delicious. And also, if you like this nice and buttery, I would advise to add more butter when making the shrimp. And once you put the shrimp aside, put up enough butter sauce, that way you're able to drizzle it over the rice. As for me personally, I didn't want too much butter in here, so I'm fine with how it is. Alright, you guys, and that's a wrap. Easy 1-pot shrimp and yellow rice. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it was easy to follow, and I sure do hope that you try this recipe and enjoy it with your family and friends. Don't forget to like this video, comment with any questions or concerns, and if you haven't subscribed as yet, this is your chance. Definitely go and subscribe. We're always welcoming cooking friends or new cooking friends to the fam. All right, happy cooking, and see you guys in the next tutorial.